Show them what happened.
I don't care if it's a riot with the Floyd Mayweather experience war. We're not going to have a drink. I won't be having any Johnny Walker.
Shockingly, even the more peaceful exhibition had its share of chaos as Floyd Mayweather and John Gotti Jr., the father of Mayweather's opponent, John Gotti III, got into a heated exchange of words after the fight.
And carry half of that spirit.
Carrying that intense spirit, it's no surprise that tensions escalated. Especially when a fighter fired a referee mid-fight. John Gotti Jr. had promised Floyd Mayweather a hellish experience when he entered the ring. However, once the two fighters squared off, Mayweather continued from where he left off over a year ago.
That's it.
Dealing mercilessly with John Gotti III. The only difference this time was the absence of a match-ending brawl. After the fight, John Jr. quickly appeared in an interview where he not only criticized Mayweather's win, but also warned him to stay away from their New York territory. John Gotti Jr. was particularly displeased with Mayweather firing a referee mid-fight, a situation that's almost unheard of in boxing history.
We're not going to have a drink. I won't be having any Johnny Walker.
And soon, Floyd Mayweather left the ring and walked past him backstage. The boxing legend tried to exchange pleasantries, expecting some friendliness. "I won't be doing anything like that. We'll be training. We'll be moving forward." However, it was totally different from what Floyd expected, as John Gotti Jr. was heard telling him, "We'll finish you in New York, you cheat. Don't dare come around." With tension still present from,
like I said, someone who I admired as a boxer, as a fighter growing up, being in front of 15,000 people, and the way he came out, caught me a little off guard, so the average person who's watching, who has a lot to say, I bet you a majority of them would have laid down and said, "Uncle." That's what I think, but I didn't. I would have fought all night.
Last June's exhibition between the two, which ended in an all-out brawl at FL Live Arena in Florida, Mayweather wanted to ensure there was no funny business this time around. "You never know what's going to happen, man. That Batsant was crazy." He took issue with referee Hector Afu of Panama, who penalized him for a hit behind the head. Offended by the call, Mayweather waved for Afu to leave, having him replaced with Mexican official Alfredo Urusa. Mayweather was seen saying, "Shut up and move," to the referee, who wasn't willing to entertain Floyd's protest. Additionally, Gotti was impeded by the referee from engaging with Mayweather.
Behind the head shot. That's a hook. It's a hook from long distance. How can that be behind the head shot? Yes, get out of the way.
Which led to a member of his team entering the ring. "Come on, ref! How can that be?" Following the confusion inside the ring, the referee shockingly left, and another official took over for the rest of the match. The bout continued as usual, and thankfully, there was no brawl between the two camps this time. The fight went the full distance, with Mayweather dominating the rest of the exhibition. However, no winner was declared, much to the frustration of the crowd in Mexico City.
How can that be behind the head shot? Yes, get out of the way.
Against the grandson of the infamous New York mobster, Mayweather proved that when it comes to the boxing ring, he is the one who pulls all the strings. The last time they met inside the squared circle in June 2023, Gotti was disqualified for persistently breaking the rules, which included grabbing Mayweather excessively. Inspiring just to be here, and as my son had said earlier, everywhere we went, we were eating up with fighters. What made the situation more tense was the melee that broke out after the entourages of both camps stormed the ring following the disqualification. Now, Gotti is looking for payback strictly inside the ring, having squashed their long-running feud following the brawl in Miami.
And carry half of that spirit.
In a recent interview with DAZN Boxing, Gotti III and his father, John Gotti Jr., reassured boxing fans that the ruckus that erupted at the first exhibition match would not be repeated at the rematch.
Inspiring just to be here. And as my son had said earlier, everywhere we went, We were meeting up with fight.
What's more, the duo also revealed that female members of their family won't be part of the event. Are old-school Italian values still at play in the 21st century? Women are told to stay away from the blood and gore,
We're meeting up with waiters and all sorts of people. I go for a walk 7:30 in the morning.
while the men meet with waiters and all sorts of people. During their morning walk at 7:30, the father-son duo discussed the Mayweather fight and the status of the security arrangement. Amidst this,
Every single morning I go for a walk. And I gotta tell you, the preconceived notion that I had,
a reporter asked Gotti III, how does mom feel about it? Can she watch the fight or not? The undefeated boxer confirmed that his mother watches all the fights. However, there is a catch. John Gotti Jr. interjected, they're not allowed to attend. Women aren't allowed to attend fights in our family. Further elaborating, the former mobster explained that they would gather at his house or his daughter's house to watch Gotti III in action from the comfort of their homes. Hearing this, the interviewer remarked, that is so old-school Italian values. Women aren't allowed to attend? Gotti III's father quickly responded, because we're going to war. For the uninitiated, John Angelo Gotti, the current patriarch of the Gotti family, is the son of the late John Gotti, former boss of the Gambino crime family. With Italian heritage mixed with mafia roots, Angelo firmly believes that women should be left behind to tend to family affairs while the men go to war. Thus, even in the 21st century,
yeah, you opened the door, so here I am. I'm sorry, I can't help myself, but I'm gonna talk just a little bit.
the Gotti family is keeping certain old-school Italian values alive. Explaining the logic behind these terms, Gotti Jr. stated, we're men. We have to take our lumps. We have to take our scars on our heads, right? We can't worry about our women in these situations, so they have to stay home.
I said I didn't think so. I didn't think so. I said, well, when you get there, you're gonna need some. No.
He further disclosed that Gotti III's camp at the arena in CDMX on fight night will largely consist of soldiers or street guys. Additionally, some members of the crowd who attended the 31-year-old fighter's bout with Mayweather in Miami were ex-convicts who used to work for the Teflon Don.
Every morning, 7:30, I go for a walk and I watch all the regular people open up their storefronts.
Meanwhile, in an interview with TMZ, Gotti III stated that he is prepared for whatever game plan Mayweather brings into the ring. Although John Gotti III was caught off guard by the momentous occasion of fighting his idol, Floyd Mayweather, he believes this time will be different.
We're meeting up with waiters and all sorts of people. I go for a walk 7:30 in the morning.
He mentioned that he would stay in the pocket and trade punches with Floyd, provided the 50-year-old boxer wishes to make it a dogfight. If he comes out the way he did in the first fight, I think I'm going to stay right in the pocket this time, and I'm going to give it as good as I can take, Gotti III stated boldly.
One greeted me in the morning, buenos dias, every single morning, and I says, wow.
On the other hand, if Mayweather decides to change his game plan and assume the role of an evasive counterpuncher, Gotti is prepared for that possibility as well. Ahead of their scrap, Mayweather and John Gotti Jr. made some surprising comments regarding Mexico, given all that has occurred during the build-up. Interestingly, it wasn't as violent, but it did give a hint of the ongoing feud between them. Mayweather has made a second career out of fighting in exhibitions since hanging up the gloves, participating in 7 boxing events since 2017, ironically remaining more active than some current fighters and champions in the sport. However, this weekend's opponent may be the most meaningful of all his post-professional dance partners, especially after what went down when the duo last stepped into the ring together. After bossing the early exchanges, Mayweather saw his contest against Gotti waved off by the referee due to excessive trash-talking from both parties. Although it was the brawl that followed shortly afterward that made headlines. As the teams of both men collided in the ring in one of the most viral moments of boxing in 2023. This time around, Mayweather has been taunted by fans who chanted for Canelo Alvarez during the open workout, over a decade since TBE outpointed the national superstar in Las Vegas. At the press conference, Gotti III made it clear that he believes himself to be the home fighter in the Mexico City rematch.
160.38 pounds for the world champion.
All of the preparation is done. We did all of the work. I am ready to fight. I am excited to be here. I am blessed to be here. From the minute that we landed, we have been blessed with open arms everywhere we have been, in restaurants and on the street. All of the hard-working Mexicans have pledged their loyalty to the goddess and King Gotti.
Floyd honored his word. He gave me the rematch. They didn't have to. Could have moved on and did his thing.
Gotti also added, Floyd honored his word and gave me the rematch. He didn't have to. He could have moved on and did his thing. I know what to expect. I felt Floyd's punches. I've seen him move. He still got it at 47 years old. And mentally, for a year, I've been preparing for that style. We have to get in the trenches here and fight. There is no other way. If he has to get knocked out, if I have to get knocked out.
Floyd honored his word. He gave me the rematch. They didn't have to. Could have moved on and did his thing.
So be it. It has to happen. Whatever is going to happen is going to happen. And I appreciate that. And we're going to put on a good show. We're going to fight, so it's going to be exciting. Just like the fight we had in Florida, you know. That was my first time on a stage that big. Yet, to the surprise of many, Mayweather seemed unbothered by the chanting or the support for Gotti. Instead, paying his respects to the proud boxing history of Mexico.
That. And we're gonna put on a good show. We're gonna fight, so it's gonna be exciting. The fight we had in Florida, you know, that was my first time on a stage.
As well as to Jose Sulaiman, the former president of the WBC who passed away in 2014. The country of Mexico, the boxing pedigree in the whole country since I have been a little kid has been truly, truly unbelievable. So many legendary champions, so many legendary fighters, but the WBC is by far the best boxing organization in the world of boxing. Jose Sulaiman was a great, great guy. My prayers go out to Mauricio Sulaiman and all of his family. The boxing pedigree in the whole country since I've been a little kid has been truly, truly unbelievable. He then continued, I want to say thank you to my team and the Gottis. Let's go out there and put on a show. One thing about me is that I've heard it all.
Jose Sulaiman,
Don José Suleiman,
was a great, great, great guy.
un gran caballero.
Mauricio and the whole Mauricio family, my prayers go out to Mauricio, mother, and
Mis oraciones con la mamá de Mauricio Suleiman, para toda la familia.
And I'm happy to be here to come out here and display my talent.
I've been around the world and competed against the best. When you talk about the Olympics, I've competed against the best. Whether it was the world champion in the Olympics or professionally. The pedigree of Mexican boxing is truly unbelievable. You talk about the legendary Julio Cesar Chavez. My uncle Roger Mayweather fought him twice. He came up short, but he fought him twice. It is always about competing and going up against the best. So Saturday, it is what it is. Closing his speech, he said, I'm happy to be here and to come out here and display my talent. So on Saturday, it is what it is. I'm Floyd Mayweather. I have already faced the best. I'm here. And I'm here to show up and show out and do what I do. I'm a fighter until the day that I die. The rematch between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and John Gotti III included no brawl, just more Mayweather domination and booze. The crowd voiced its displeasure after the 8-round exhibition in Mexico City.
Mexicano desde que soy un niño ha sido increíble para mí.
So many legendary champions, so many legendary fighters.
There were no knockdowns, no glassy-eyed looks, no staggering. Because the fight was an exhibition, it was not officially scored, but Mayweather, 47.
But by and large has sort of, again, played his role in this exhibition rather than fighting like someone who is treating this like a life and death affair.
Right. I think
Dominated Gotti, 31. The grandson of the late crime boss John Gotti. Mayweather was able to hit Gotti with relative ease and connected plenty, but he never rocked his opponent. The fight played out exactly as many expected, mirroring their first meeting, with the boxing great simply proving to be the better fighter. Thankfully, the fight did not end in a brawl. Unlike their June 2023 meeting, despite Mayweather clearly dominating the action, no winner was announced due to the exhibition nature of the bout. Mayweather was cautious not to give Gotti opportunities to do effective work. instead leaning heavily on his jab, followed by straight right hands to control the action. As the rounds ticked by, Gotti was visibly frustrated by Mayweather's standard, economic, and effective approach to the sweet science. Given the fight was an exhibition featuring 8 2-minute rounds, there was unlikely to be any notable result. This has been a standard approach to exhibition fights since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, with Mayweather only truly bringing his best game in bouts with Japanese kickboxers in fights that would have a result announced at the end. Like his exhibition fights with the likes of Logan Paul, Mayweather was content to carry the fight through the scheduled time while clearly being the better of the two men in the ring. At the conclusion of the 8th round,
but by and large has sort of, again, played his role in this exhibition rather than fighting like someone who is treating this like a life and death affair.
Right. I think
no winner was announced. Mayweather and Gotti embraced after the fight, a stark contrast to the brawl that followed their first bout. Throughout his storied professional career, Mayweather had many notable bouts with Mexican superstars. Having held an exhibition on hostile soil, Mayweather was thankful to the crowd. Mexico City, Mayweather said, "Thanks for coming out. Gotti is tough as nails." Mayweather praised Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., who was there as part of the broadcast team, then said, "Mexico City, I love you guys. Thanks for coming out." The fans cheered. The first fight between Mayweather and Gotti in June 2023 ended in a brawl after the referee stopped the fight in the 6th round due to excessive trash talk and holding. Gotti maneuvered around the referee and threw punches at Mayweather,
but by and large has sort of, again, played his role in this exhibition rather than fighting like someone who is treating this like a life and death affair.
right. I think
and members of the fighters' camps flooded into the ring as a melee broke out. There were moments of tension on Saturday as well. Gotti grew agitated when the rounds, which were supposed to be 2 minutes, ran long, and Mayweather looked angry when the referee warned him about punches to the back of Gotti's head. In fact, a new referee entered the ring.
We've been through a lot together. You know, last fight I said some things about.
But it was largely peaceful. More peaceful than the crowd seemed to hope for, and it ended with Mayweather and Gotti embracing. "He's my guy," Mayweather said of Gotti, with his arm around his opponent. "But we had to put on a show for the people, and I want to thank Gotti for being a man of his word, and we ran it back twice." Gotti said, "Mayweather hits hard. He still got it," during an in-ring interview after the fight. Mayweather then embraced the 62-year-old Chavez. "He's one of the legends I look up to, and he paved the way for me," Mayweather said. "He's older now, and if I do an exhibition with him, it's not going to look good for me," Mayweather said earlier this week. Mayweather mentioned that he'd been offered a deal for 3 more exhibitions but provided no additional details. "We just got a call about a 3-exhibition deal, and it's a crazy number, so we don't know," Mayweather added. Floyd did tell him, "Get out of here," and he left. However, regarding Mayweather's issue with the referee, one individual who followed the development closely was Ryan Garcia's father, Henry Garcia. He wasn't particularly happy with the referee being replaced on Floyd Mayweather's orders during the exhibition fight. Reacting to DAZN's footage titled "Best Angle We've Seen," showing Pretty Boy firing the ref and a new one entering the ring, Henry Garcia commented,
I do think it was
"When you don't have the way, money will take you the rest of the way." Henry Garcia seemed pretty sure that it was Mayweather's financial might that influenced the referee being swapped mid-fight, but that wasn't the end of the conversation. Another Instagram user responded to Henry's comment by saying, "The money came from kicking ass and taking belts though." Garcia agreed with the assertion but felt that it wasn't worth it to take the referee out when the fight was just an exhibition. True, but when you have to take out a referee because you're not happy, it doesn't matter how many people you beat or belts you've won. Just move on and continue the fight. "It was just an exhibition, not even a good one," he said about the referee. Overall, the fight was very underwhelming, with no edge-of-the-seat action inside the ring. The bout was starved of highlight reel moments, with no knockdowns registered. Soon, more memes began circulating about Mayweather firing the referee. Yet the American gangster took to his YouTube talk show and provided the only 2 possibilities that could have led to a referee swap. He said, "So when I'm watching this, and I can't hear what Floyd is saying, which is why I'm open to being wrong. If Floyd said certain words, I'd be open to being wrong. But if I'm just watching it, my first take would not be that Floyd, who is complaining, replaced a referee. It'd either be that the referee quit or the commission pulled him. That would be a far more reasonable conclusion, considering the commission is the one that oversees the officials." Sonnen claimed that Pretty Boy had no power whatsoever over the officials.
Clip. And sure enough, Floyd is complaining to a referee and he leaves and a new referee comes in. But There is nowhere within,
and therefore was not in a position to fire the referee. The former UFC contender continued, but to say that Floyd fired the referee when it's on tape, and he did no such thing, not to mention he was not the referee's boss. Floyd Mayweather dominated the fight with ease from the first bell, and would have easily taken home the win if the fight had been officially scored.